Dear students, in that last lecture, we had discussed about the scope and the importance of thermodynamics. In this second lecture of thermodynamics, we will continue from where we left in that first one. That is, in that first lecture, I was telling about the scope and importance, and at the end, I was giving some important introduction about the laws of thermodynamics. That there are four different laws are there. One is zeroth law, first law of thermodynamics, second law of thermodynamics, and third law of thermodynamics. Of course, as I already told in that previous video, that the zeroth law is an introductory law for temperature alone, so it can be dealt separately. Similarly, third law is not a unique law, it is a corollary of the second law. So, for thermodynamics, that's the second point, that for thermodynamics, the first and second law are very, very useful. So, let me explain this using a business model, because unless otherwise we understand what is exactly happening in thermodynamics using a routine life model, it is highly impossible for you to conceive the idea in thermodynamics. So, this time I am going to explain you the first and second law of thermodynamics using a business model. Exactly, we can correlate this to the thermodynamics. I am going to explain you in four different laws which have been written on my own for explaining the first and second law of thermodynamics. Time being, please forget about zeroth law and third law of thermodynamics, what I explained you in the first point. Okay, come to the first and second law of thermodynamics. Here, I'm going to explain using the business model, isn't it? So, according to that first law, you can't get more returns than your investment. Usually, if you want to start a business, what's your aim? You want to invest, suppose, say 100 rupees. You will definitely expect at least an 110 rupees, that is 10 rupees profit out of your business. But according to the thermodynamics, if you are investing 100 rupees, you will get exactly 100 rupees. That is what the first law is saying. Please understand these are all business model laws just to explain first and second law of thermodynamics alone. This is some way interactive laws so that understanding of thermodynamics is going to be easy for you to for you students. So that's why I'm explaining using these four different laws. So don't get confused with this and the thermodynamics laws. The first law says that you can't get more returns than your investment. That's a simple law. Suppose you are investing 100 rupees, you are going to get 100 rupees only, not more than that. Not even a single rupees more than that. This is the first law. What is the second law says with that same business model? We'll move on to that. The most you can hope for is to get some optimum, which is going to be lesser than your investment. See, already in the first law, I told whatever thing that you are going to invest, same thing that you may get it. That is what the first law. It is not going to be more than what you have invested. But in the second law, it is telling you will get only certain optimum. This word is very, very, very important word in the thermodynamics. It's a key word, very important word. You are going to get some optimum value out of your investment. Suppose say you are investing 100 rupees. Out of this, you are going to get some optimum value. That optimum value is going to be lesser than what you have invested. That means like this. So the optimum can be anything, say for example 60 or 70 or 80, 90 rupees, say for example. So the second law says that you are going to get some amount which is going to be the optimum. That means maximum that you can get out of that, which is going to be lesser than what you have invested. Say 100 rupees means you are going to get something lower than that 100 rupees. This is what the second law. Okay, comes to the third law. So immediately, what is your conclusion by way of telling these two laws? The first law says that if you are investing something, you will get maximum that amount. Second law says, no, you can't get even that amount. You will get certain optimum value. This is a maximum possible value that's going to be lesser than 100 rupees. So coming to the third law, what third law says is you can't get that optimum. Already second law put an important restriction. Not even 100 rupees you can get it. You will get some optimum that's going to be lesser than that. What the third law says, you can't get that optimum. That means for any particular business model, your optimum is going to be lesser than 100 rupees. Say 70 rupees in this case. Some you are selling egg. In this case, the optimum is going to be 70 rupees according to the second law of thermodynamics, second law of this business model. What the third law says is it is not possible for you to get the 70 rupees. It is going to be lesser than this. So your real return is going to be lesser than 70 rupees. So in this case, what's going to be your decision, students? Definitely, nobody is willing to start the business with this type of conditions, isn't it? So in this case, now I'm going to tell you that fourth law. That's going to be the very important law. Once you are born, you can't even get out of this game. That means you cannot escape from this type of business model. That means you have to do the business. And I will connect all these four laws in our first and second law of thermodynamics in the coming videos, coming lectures. Okay, so now you understand once you are born as a human being, you cannot escape without doing this business. Yes, your aim is to do the business, get the returns, which is going to be lesser than what you are invested. That is the fate of the nature. That is the law of the nature. It is your fate that you have to do the business. So now you are understanding what are the restrictions put by the nature. The same things will be there in the first and second law of thermodynamics. Now I will correlate these four laws in the first and second law of thermodynamics when I am explaining in my forthcoming lecture series. Coming to the third one is that zeroth law and its importance. So zeroth law, though the law is being developed after first and second law, due to its importance in thermodynamics, its name has been given as a zeroth law. It is very essential for defining the temperatures. But without explaining what is temperature, what is the equilibrium, we cannot have the full glimpse of the zeroth law of thermodynamics. So I'll explain you in the forthcoming lecture series about zeroth law in detail. Then third law of thermodynamics. Coming back to the third law of thermodynamics is also telling that same thing as our business law, that attaining that optimum as per the second law of thermodynamics is impossible. That is what the second law of the third law of thermodynamics is explaining. So up to then, we were discussing about the different laws which is pertaining to the development of the thermodynamics. So up to now, we discussed about the business model to explain the first and second law of thermodynamics, and also zeroth law and third law of thermodynamics. What are its significance? All these things we discussed in this video. See, this is very important that these two laws is the fundamental for whole thermodynamics. In our next video, we are going to discuss about the various terms that are going to be used in the thermodynamics. That mainly, just some of you that I'm going to highlight you, that system and surrounding. These two terms are very popular in thermodynamics. So remaining terms like point function, properties, temperature, equilibrium, all these things we will see in our next video. Thank you for watching this. Thank you.